Hi. I'm so excited to be here today. I haven't done a live for a while, and I'm just excited to be here. The lighting is not great. It is 9 something in the evening here, so it's not too late. It's almost 10 o'clock at night, so it's later than typical. And I'm in my hotel. I'm in the Netherlands right now on the coast at the beach. I have a place on the beach, which I'm so excited about. Having a great time, and I just wanted to share something. And before I go to bed, about things aren't always what they seem. So in the realm of parenting, this is for how I was trained and the kind of the people that I've been trained with, this is a common thing that we talk about a lot. Things aren't always what they seem, because what a child is having a big upset about, oftentimes, especially if it's a big upset, oftentimes it's not about that thing. It's not about them wanting the red cup. It's not about them not getting their way. It's not about, it's not about them not wanting to put their coat on or them not wanting to put their shoes on. It's really about something else. There's something underneath that. And that is also the case with adults. Surprise! We work very much like a 2-year-old. And I say that kidding, of course. Our brains are more developed. But at the same time, oftentimes, there's things underneath that we have a hard time getting to. And I just had this really lovely experience with a friend of mine where we got to get to the bottom of something like very quickly. And I was so excited about that because it just took both of us being really vulnerable to get there. And I wanted to share it because I think it's so important that we remember as adults that things aren't always what they seem. And so I think I have chocolate on my face. I don't know. So, and this actually has to do with a chocolate bar. So my friend bought this chocolate bar for me, and I'm not going to kind of get into all the details, but we had this weird moment where he just made a comment about the price of the chocolate bar. And then I responded with, I didn't want to be negative, so I responded with something I cross-canceled it. And she was sharing with him how, a cross-cancel on a negative comment, what felt like a negative comment to me, because I don't want to live in limitation. I can afford anything that I want. That's the place I want to live, and so that's how I live. And so anyway, it made things weird. It just, it's one of those moments where, hi Georgina, it's one of those moments where this friend of mine and I were in this weird space. We stopped talking to each other. We were walking home and not really saying a whole lot with each other. And, I was in my head. I'm sure he was in his head as well. And I was just trying to think to myself, I think I have a hazelnut in my throat. I was just kind of trying to think of myself, what's going on here? And he's probably doing the same. Anyway, I'm going to make the long story short. And so when we got back and we could sit down and we could talk, this all started with a chocolate bar and negative comments and me trying to make a positive, turn it into a positive comment. And then both of us just, my skin was crawling and I just felt super uncomfortable and I was really shut down. And he felt, I don't know exactly what the feelings were that was going on for him, but I'm sure he felt something, right? That just weird feeling between two people. So we started to talk about it and we both got completely vulnerable, and it actually went back to early in the evening. My kind of thing was that I didn't want to feel small in our relationship, and I felt like I didn't have enough space in our relationship. And then he shared, I'm not going to share what he felt, what was vulnerable for him, but we got to all of that actually really quickly. And what I love is that it all started with a chocolate bar, which was really like the tipping point, the piece that was the tipping point. And in our world of parenting, we actually call it something else, the broken cookie. But this started with a chocolate bar, and it made sort of the things that were the feelings that were underneath it. It made those feelings come up, is what I'm talking about. And so I'd love you to think about this in your own life of like, what are some of the things that might, it's not a trigger necessarily, but it's something that causes those feelings to come up. And it's typically something small. It's something inconsequential. It's something that doesn't really matter. But then it makes those feelings come to the surface. And the problem is that we typically end up talking about the chocolate bar when it has absolutely nothing to do with the chocolate bar. And it has everything to do with the vulnerable feelings that we're feeling and that we're scared to share, that we're feeling afraid or sad or weak or vulnerable, and we're having a hard time sharing those things. So my invitation to you is to like, you know, learn how to forget about the chocolate bar, to learn how to forget about what that little thing is that made the feelings come up, and turn your attention to what's going on really deep inside of you. What's, you know, trying to set aside the chocolate bar and like really think about and feel like, where are you scared? Where are you sad? Where are you hurting? That's hard to talk about. And it was hard. It was really hard for me to say, you know, and I was crying. Like I'm afraid of that I don't have enough space in this friendship. And that's a hard thing to say to somebody. Like, but I don't want to be small. And I actually said that. I don't want to be small in this relationship. And I'm feeling really small. And it may not even be true. And actually, that's something we talked about too, is like, you know, how he doesn't see me as a small person. And so then I need to really look at, like, why am I feeling small? So there's so much there. And what I love is that a chocolate bar started this whole thing. So that's just what I wanted to share with you, is that things are not, hey, Brooke. So things are not always what they seem. And it's just exciting to, like, dig deeper into those things that are holding us back, that we might be afraid to look at too, or afraid to take, you know, share with someone, or afraid to be vulnerable with. But if you're with someone you trust and you feel safe with, then take a risk. Just take a risk and say how you're really, really feeling, because you're going to make huge progress with that. And that's what I'm so excited about, and so just happy that this relationship that I care about, you know, could make progress, could do well, and could work through the muck of that. And so we could get beyond this chocolate bar and get into something really deep and meaningful, and show me too where I feel like I'm playing small. That's the exciting part too, that I'm excited to look at deeper, is like, why did I feel like I am small, and what could I have done differently in that situation to not be small anymore? So always stuff to dig into for sure, but things aren't always what they seem. So definitely take a look at, you know, that little thing, like the chocolate bar, is really probably something else going on underneath that. And so that's my invitation to you, is to go beyond the thing that creates the feelings to come up and figure out really what's going on. So it's a beautiful process to be able to do that. And there's lots of things you can do ahead of time too to support yourself that maybe I'll talk about another time. But thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm hoping to do another live here as well. It's not as easy while I'm traveling, but I'm having an awesome time in the Netherlands, and I look forward to more, and I hope you're all doing well. So have a beautiful, amazing day.